Hello, everybody, and welcome to another edition of the Super Mario Bros. 3 Randomizer Tournament 2023. We are at the halfway point of the Swiss rounds, and now we are beginning the third week of this tournament, and we kick it off with a matchup between two very good players, between MidiGuyDP and HighFlyer 28. And I'm Pro A007, and joining me on the mic today is Leslie Pro 04. Welcome.
Thank you, Premier. Good afternoon, everybody. Yeah, this is going to be a very good matchup as I've raced against both MidiGuy and HighFlyer in the past and weeklies and such. Two very solid runners, two very comparable skill sets. This is going to be a good race to watch. Now, to start us off, we're going to be having all the stages shuffled, but the constant's going to be mystery tiles. You don't know what stage you're entering, so that makes it harder to plan one's route, and that'll come into play more so with the next seed flag set.
hmm And not knowing whether you have if hammers break locks could inform some strategies as well. I know the match I did last week, hammers did not break locks in either case, so the races were a little bit longer as a result. But no, it should be good. And yeah, for sure, these are two, again, you've raced against both of them, so and as have I, and both are very good at what they do. And wouldn't surprise me if we get this as a rematch in the brackets because both players are 3-1 currently in Swiss.
Speaking of three,
Yeah.
in the beta level,
Ooh.
HighFlyer with a better reaction time. MidiGuy crashed and burned.
Yeah, and there were a couple of tricky Koopa Troopas there, so luckily this is a pretty short stage, but yeah, MidiGuy's kind of second guessing himself a little bit there, and okay, we got an interesting draw here with the pipes. We got three on the right, and okay, so there's the forts, so pretty straightforward. Now the question is, which one will it be, and the routing is pretty straightforward, but it is going to be a coin flip.
Yep, this coin flip starts with Sledge Bros in water. MidiGuy thought about going for the fort, but instead goes to fight Sledge Bros at a different time. Oh, he missed the block!
Yeah, HighFlyer picks up a mushroom there, and now Midi is in. MidiGuy has no choice, he has to play, and we get 3F2. Seed is invalid.
But entering a small Mario, very valid for this fort, because I find you move just a little bit faster here small.
There's certainly less things to like impede you. So, yeah, HighFlyer in a slight lead. He's only about a room ahead right now. And both did the same thing, so no route divergence here. And luckily for our runners, it'll be pretty quick to determine whether they picked the correct fort or not, because there was a lock by that boat. Although, well, okay, so HighFlyer is gonna do the check. And okay, gotta do it again. No, HighFlyer. No.
HighFlyer might have missed it.
He missed it, yeah, okay. So, and Midi is figured it out, so we are back to a near sync here, and HighFlyer need that second here to kind of figure this one out. And here we go, alright. Oof, nice course correction there by MidiGuy. And he gets a hammer for his trouble. That could be valuable, we shall see.
5F1 as our gatekeeper for this world. MidiGuy stopping for a mushroom. Can't say I fault this play.
No, and especially with Wendy, and Wendy is known for being a troll, so you got to be careful here. But HighFlyer is the first one out, and but it's close. We're only a few seconds right now. Does he go for the hammer, bro? Yes, he does, and he will be rewarded with his hammer. So MIDI in control early here, but not by much. Maybe about 10 to 12 seconds right now as we head to Wendy. And we have the World 5 airship.
Good power-up draw for Wendy, Fire Flower.
Yeah, and this arena is not too bad for it. This should be a pretty easy kill as long as Wendy doesn't do anything weird. You know, like that. And okay, there's no heavy physics either, so a 4031 grab for MIDI.
Yeah, my practice seed earlier had Wendy do just that, and I did not react because I hadn't seen her do that before.
So we have an 11-second difference between our runners, and we got World 3 down. Chat, what's next? I say 5.
7. Keep it odds, but make it interesting with the pipes.
Alright, we got a 7 and a 6 in chat. A 1, a 4, and it is 1. Blazin' Beza, you are the winner.
And we've got 2 forts that we must play unless the hammer destroys that lock.
And this is a case where, you know, if it doesn't, this might be a good play because you're skipping 2 stages. First things first, after we see what happens here in Super Tanks, and the answer is... Okay. Nope.
Nope. Right, I did. Just didn't work out.
So no dice on the on hammers breaking locks in this seed, but still worlds where it could be useful. 2, 4, and 6 still in play here. Nice move there by HighFlyer, threading the needle. And he takes the top route, and he will get an orb for this. Alright. So we have our first hand stage. Now, whatever item comes up in these hand stages, this hand stage will be repeated if the other 2 hand stages appear.
Who's up for frog percent?
Well, we know a few runners in the community certainly are, but others, well, we got a cloud there, so we're getting some decent items, and actually that frog suit might be a good early damage boost, but instead MIDI will continue on with Small Mario in the World 6 airship. HighFlyer guesses.
Good call there.
Yeah, that's a very good call. So he'll save him a few seconds and maybe a few more. It's a one-hit Larry, and MIDI gets it at 7:15. HighFlyer sets it up, and ooh, just misses.
Just overshot it.
I'm gonna stick with 5 because that's what I know.
Gonna stick with 7 because it keeps it odd.
Alright, so survey says it is 6.
You gotta play 2 off the top.
Yeah, and we'll see what they choose for their second stage. We lead off with 1-4. Midi's still small here. HighFlyer is big. Here's Raccoon. Okay, HighFlyer avoids the 5-up. HighFlyer should be able to do the same. Does. Very nice. Because he is small, he opts for the top route and picks 5-3 as a result, and Midi's like, nope. Not interested.
4-2 with a cheap and a boss bass.
Midi gets another hammer, though, so that might free him up to decide to play that block there, but we'll see what happens first off with this first pipe. Okay, he takes the damage boost. Okay, we got 3 pipes. Okay, hammer not needed.
Oh boy. Gonna have to play this one in all likelihood. 7F2 Piranha Fort.
Yeah, it is required, so yeah, they're gonna have to, gut this out. And okay, so we got 2 locks and a bridge, so it's a straight shot to the finish. Once that 1 lock by 6/8 location is gone, it's free sailing from there. But they got to do this first. Nice pole vault jump there by Midi. HighFlyer is at the is at Boom Boom, no problem. Okay, there it goes. So yeah, so again, straight shot for our runners. They just got to get through this stage and 1 more. Not a bad place to use a hammer, perhaps, or not a hammer, a cloud, excuse me. So something worth considering. HighFlyer. HighFlyer opting for the fort and draws 7F1 Fort Knox. I'm not 100% sure about that one. Okay, but we're all here, so Midi does the same thing. Interesting. And Midi is, I think, he's going to take the 100 coin fine, but is he going to play this through, or is he going to try door number 2 here?
Door number 2 could be a zonk, so he's just going to P-wing it.
Yeah, makes sense. I mean, but an interesting choice by both runners. I'm a little surprised, because forts generally are longer than regular stages, so if either of them had been Raccoon or Tanuki Mario going in, I think it would have been easier play, or at least mentally for me. Like, because World 7 forts do tend to pair up a decent amount of the time, but not, and they did so in this case.
Find the World 4 forts also do the same for some reason. Less for other worlds as you continue down the line. So,
HighFlyer is getting into a bit of a battle here with Lemmy, but Midi actually with the Fire Mario is able to dispatch him pretty quickly.
Brings it really close.
It does. In chat, DLP chat, in chat saying Flyer likes to pick forts over levels because he knows the forts. A valid argument. I mean, much fewer forts compared to levels. And yeah, you could run the risk of hitting a 7-5 or, an auto-scroller, so. And we have World 5 at the halfway point.
giant enemy set in this 4-5, so there will be no boss bass here.
It's kind of a relief. You don't want to be dealing with that guy too much in that midsection. But ooh, HighFlyer unfortunately gets clipped there by the giant piranha. So a needed one-up for MidiGuy, who's taken a couple of deaths so far. Alright, so no paradox pipe here. Okay, so
Right to the sky, so
HighFlyer again opting for the fort, as did MidiGuy, and both of them get 6F1 elevator fort, and that star allows them to zoom through this opening section. Midi saw the star, like, no, I'm good. But Midi will get a fire kill on Boom Boom. So Midi back in the lead here by just a few seconds, with a 4-second gap after World 6. We got 2 more stages to play, and we got our second hammer stage. Our second hand stage. And Midi, again, with his power-up advantage, doing a nice job barreling through the stage. We get a P-wing there. We got 3-7, and there is an item in this stage. Giant enemies, so no boss bass risk. And ooh, HighFlyer take. Yeah, well, the true final boss. Midi lost his P-speed there and decided, I guess, not to go for the item. Looks like HighFlyer might be. He's got his raccoon tail, and nope. Oh dear, he's got to be careful. I think he had a couple of canceled inputs there. So he's got to be careful here.
I was about to say, it looked like he had a couple inputs get devoured by the game.
Ooh, Midi getting dinged there by a high-flying Roy, but he only needs 2 hits to get rid of him. And Midi is out at halftime at 16:02. Alright, I will say 2.
I'm going 7 because it's pipes, and it's a 33 1/3 chance of being right. And Talfarm in chat says, "Kid me wishes I was that good at hanging on to P-speed. I wish I was good at hanging on to P-speed like that as an adult."
Well, so we got World 4, and okay, so Midi, what are you doing?
I think he realizes it. No, he doesn't. Oh, he's gotten indecisive.
That's... Oh, I see what he's doing. Okay, now I get it. He's going to use his hammer. Very sharp move there by MidiGuy. That's very good.
Yep, skips a level, and I think HighFlyer's going to do the same thing.
Nope, he's going to play the stage, and it is 1-5 beta. So... But no, that's a very sharp move by MidiGuy. That's like one of those 200, 300 IQ plays you hear about. It's like you wouldn't normally think of that, because hammers don't get much utility in World 4 in Rando. This is one of those rare occasions. Midi's having a little trouble here in 6-9. So is HighFlyer had a little trouble in the beta stage. Ooh, nice dodge there by by MIDI there at the end. So HighFlyer. So yeah, they
Now,
have an extra hand.
Yep, they do. I just wanted to mention that MidiGuy did try for a wall jump. Missed it. But going for that wall jump in 6-9 as anything other than Small Mario, you have a tighter window, and oh, HighFlyer, just get the jump off.
Yeah, it's I think sub-pixel perfect to do it as anything other than Small Mario. So it's worth a try, but you know, it's one of the things, don't obsess over it because you're just asking for trouble. And we have our fort, which is 3F1 door 6 fort, and helping himself to a few power-ups and gets Fire Mario. That could worth the extra time and trouble, you know, later on. HighFlyer getting a couple of power-ups here. Get himself back out of being Small Mario. I think MIDI was checking to see if he actually, in fact, had a music box. It'd be a good time to use one, I suppose. But he picks up a P-Wing instead.
Now, if he had to fight the other Hammer Bro, I would have just gonna say, watch that be a music box, because as LOZ Cards fan would say, the game knows.
Game always knows. We got randomizer games know. HighFlyer having a little trouble getting rid of these giant sledge bros, and ooh, whew, finally dispatches him for a star, but that's a little more trouble than I think it was. I'm sure he thought it was worth, but MIDI with a comfortable lead right now over HighFlyer as we head to the World 2 airship.
HighFlyer not stopping for power-ups, so he'll get a small bit of time back. Because it's powering up plus door translation. Oh, MidiGuy lost fire due to getting stun locked, but it's just a one-hitter.
Lucky him. That's not an arena where you want to have a lengthy fight with Iggy. If he's bouncing like that. HighFlyer might have to face all of the Hammer Bros and he gets another star, so now we've seen what all the items are in this world, and okay, he's gonna run topside and go for the third Hammer Bro and gets his P-Wing. So we have World 2 now. So 7 is last. Okay. Yeah.
Interesting.
Well, yeah, and it's the same number of stages, I think, no matter what you do. So, yeah, it's better than having to backtrack. Okay, the anchor is Raccoon Mario, so that's good to know.
Oh, look out! MidiGuy almost got ambushed by a fish falling out of the sky.
Yeah. So HighFlyer has his P-Wing and is gonna try to go for these. Gets it this time, I think.
Yeah, if he didn't, he's a pixel low MidiGuy with a classic 5-star frog splash.
Yeah, and MIDI picks up his extra lives. He is indeed going to use his cloud here. Good move. It's a 90-second lead over HighFlyer at the wand grab in World 4, so in good shape here. Warden in the World 1 airship. No trouble.
Yeah, to answer a question in chat, anything that is Earthquake, be it a Sledge Bro or Heavy Koopa Kid, if you have a star, you can be stunlocked still. But the star does serve as a shield from attacks, so could it be worse?
HighFlyer, I'm not really sure what he's doing. Okay, I get it. He's gonna reverse engineer this. Which makes sense. Although I forget what the stage is that MIDI played, but it wasn't that bad.
Yeah, it was nothing disgusting, thankfully.
Alright, so MIDI. Ooh, not the place you want to have P-Speed, unfortunately. So HighFlyer, the stage that MIDI skipped, I believe, is the pyramid.
Not so sure about that, because it looks like HighFlyer is backdooring to the fort.
That's very peculiar. Okay, so yeah, yeah, he is. Like, okay, now I'm a little confused. The fort is one fort, and yep.
Yeah, but something tells me he's not going for an item this time, even though the game gave him the option to go for it. HighFlyer saying, I want that lock gone. Oh, would you look at this? MIDI guys found the way through.
It's a straight shot, so just 1-1 plus the Piranha stage. So yeah, this should be pretty straightforward for him. MIDI is kind of just barreling through the stage, like he has no time for anything. Well, so MIDI is going to use a frog suit here just to, I think, take a quick damage boost. There is an angry sun here.
And it will get in the way of the pipe, but MIDI guy got there before the sun.
HighFlyer. Oh, 7-5. Yep, he's going to use it.
Yeah, that wounds up being an A+ cloud use from MidiGuyDP to skip one of the ugliest combinations in the game, a 7-5 with a boss bass.
He's got to be careful here, though. He's going through this as Small Mario, and while Morton isn't, you know, too awful, you cannot make a mistake.
For sure. And it's a 5-hitter too, and he's through. Meanwhile, MIDI guy's through World 7. How many bridges, chat?
So I will say 2.
How about a 3?
How about a 3? So MIDI in very good shape. He's got a very comfortable lead going into World 8. Even, as we like to say, this is the great equalizer. And he's got a cloud if he needs it. So there are 6 tiles where it's possible. And, well, there's just regular tanks. He will take his 100-coin fine.
And probably say to the game, well, tanks for nothing.
Indeed. So he's got another pipe to check before he has to decide whether to play the tile or blind cloud it. We'll see what he decides.
Oh, we know it's 1.
Okay, so there's Air Force tile, which is Navy.
And HighFlyer's jumping around in Air Force, which I believe was the required fort in this World 7.
Yes, it was. Okay, so that was not the correct answer. So on we go to the fort, which is 2 fort. Meanwhile, HighFlyer is in 2-1. With an angry sun. Nice. Nice use of P-Speed by both players here in their respective stages.
And HighFlyer's on the path at the promised land. He's taking no time for anything in this 1-1, despite the intimidating enemy set.
And nothing broke there, so this should be it for MidiGuy, and it is. So, a pretty straightforward World 8 there, over all told. MidiGuy started with a frog suit, then opted for sanity and decided to think, no, you know, do not showboat here. But we appreciate the meme, nevertheless. Midi, just 2 rooms away, goes for the clip once, does not get it. And Midi now gonna make the final run to Bowser. Ooh, unfortunately got... Oh no!
Oh, roasted by the last fireball. Forget
Both
the
of the...
laser, it's the fireball you're gonna worry about today.
Yeah, both got roasted there. Flyer got dinged by the angry sun there as he's making his final drop, and that is unfortunate. The result of early angry sun. So Midi will try again. I think he's going to go for the item box this time, and it is Fire Mario, so has a chance to go for the fire kill here. And well, so this is all but over. HighFlyer takes care of business with Ludwig, but Midi's about to take care of business with Bowser. 35 fireballs will do it.
You scam fireball here, and that'll do it. Get your GGs in chat for MidiGuy, who takes game number 1.
A very strong performance after a somewhat indifferent start, but he kept with it and overcame some early deaths to a very fine win indeed, as he finishes with an official race time of 31:09. Alright, so HighFlyer now going to take on Bowser's Darkland and see what he can get out of this. Okay, he sees the draw. Okay, so... Yeah, I definitely would say that the turning point was, I think, in World 4 when he made that very sharp play to use his hammer in World 4. In a scenario where that almost never happens, he actually found a valid play, and it was a very good one, because most players would have missed that.
And for sure, no doubt about it.
So, HighFlyer now going to take down World 2 Fort, which was the correct answer. So with this win, Midi moves to 4-1 in Swiss play. There'll be another set of 2 matches in a couple of weeks that will close out the Swiss or group section of this, and then which will inform the brackets at the end of July. Alright, so HighFlyer reads the room correctly, as MidiGuy did, and he is on his way back to take down Bowser. HighFlyer, knowing the result of this race, is going to give us a little bit of swag and some memes. Because why not?
But the Disco Waffle said that's enough of that.
Yeah, the Disco Waffles never let us have anything nice.
Yeah, the Disco Waffles are this game's version of the Fun Police.
Yeah, well. But HighFlyer has a chance to go for the, is he always going for, what do we decide to call that?
DLP would probably know better than us, because, oh, he got it!
The dip clip, that's right. Good setup.
Oh, you almost got the scam fireball.
A swag finish there for HighFlyer. Finishes with an official race time of 35:06.
And the comment from MidiGuy on that particular seed, oopsie in Bowser's Castle. Accurate.
Indeed. I would say so. No, a small blemish in what was otherwise a very strong performance. And those early deaths aside, he probably clocks about a mid-29 otherwise. So, no, very, very good play by MidiGuy, moving up to 4-0 there. So we're going to take a couple-minute break here, and we'll be back for the second match in this tilt between MidiGuyDP and HighFlyer, so stay tuned. Alright, we are back for the second of this two-game set between MidiGuyDP and HighFlyer 28 in the Swiss portion of the Mario 3 Randomizer tournament for 2023. If you missed the first game, you missed some, I would say, 200 IQ plays from MidiGuy in particular, doing some very sharp routing and overall play to cruise to an easy Game 1 win. So, but will Game 2 give HighFlyer a chance to equal it up and force the split?
We shall see. Now, for this flag set, the levels are going to stay in the world you see for the most part. Well, except with Fort Shuffle On, you could see an odd level here or there that wouldn't otherwise be there in this flag set. But the fortresses are still going to be shuffled. Now, we did encounter a situation where we had to turn Frog Friendly on. Because if 7F1 appears in World 1, the pipe that would send you into the power-up room for whatever reason was sending you to fall flat into a very deep ravine. So it's something in terms of ensuring we don't have to re-roll a seed.
Right. There have been a couple of minor hiccups already, so hopefully that is not the case here. Our runners have been given the go-ahead to begin, and It's interesting, DLP just pointed out there have been a lot of splits so far in this tournament. That is true. We only have one undefeated player, based on what I saw in the on the sheet, and that's Human Mustard so far. We're only halfway through the Swiss play, so, and I think there are two reasons for that. One is there are fewer players in this tournament, so there is the gulf between the players isn't quite as wide as it has been in past years. But I'd also say it's also due to the runners getting so much better in the last few years. I mean, the gap between the top and the bottom is, especially in that middle section, it's very narrow. It does come down to coin flips. Oh, excuse me. Stewie Cartman is also undefeated. Excuse me. Sorry. But the point still stands.
Anyway, here we go. And it's a World 7 start. Now, this could get spicy as our runners could run into a 7-5, 7-8, or maybe have to play out 7-1 or 7-6. We shall see. It starts with 7-9, and it's a cheap. Midi guy got jumped.
I think he did that on purpose. I think he's like, I'll take my chances with the other one. And it's 7-7. Yeah. I kind of get it because 7-9 is not exactly the most fun stage, but with a fort in play, I'm not so sure. It's more for the potential power up, I think, than anything.
This is also a frog-friendly 7-7, so you just run straight through to the end. No crouch slide, nothing like that.
It's also a good immediate test for us in case there was something wrong. Like, oh yeah. Alright, so fort is, well, what do you know? There is no such thing as randomization in this game.
Fort Knox is frog-friendly.
So MIDI is not incorrect in his routing so far, because you're gonna have to play that. It looks like you have to play that anyway, unless HighFlyer finds a faster route. But this is gonna cost MIDI guy some time.
I'm surprised MIDI guy did not take an item from the Toad House, which in this flag set you can also do multiple times over if you so choose.
Yeah, that's a good point. And you get the island. It's like he had two chances, or no, excuse me. Yeah, he had two chances for the items and passed on both of them. That's interesting. I mean, yeah, it's time. It's not exactly time well spent per se, but it's like, man.
Yeah, honestly, it could have been worth it if, say, you find a hammer suit on one of those, and there's no other hammer suits. That could be big if that were to happen.
Exactly. So our runners now, continue on. We got 7-8 here. Yikes.
Yeah, I almost did a spit take when I saw this because I took a drink as you're entering a level. Don't do that, folks.
So, but
and
yeah,
7-8, Boss Bass in pursuit, but HighFlyer's going into the pipe to lose him and maybe get a power up. It's a frog suit.
Well, it's all right. It'll probably just take a quick damage boost out of the box. No, he's trying, but he's really trying to get hit. There it is.
Thank you, Paragoomba.
So all things considered, I mean, 7-7, 7-9, 7-8, you could have done worse. I mean, I think the absolute worst case would have been like 7-1 or 7-6 as a starter, followed by 7-5 or something. Like 7-5 really stinks, but having to play 7-1 or 7-6 in its entirety is not a lot of fun.
Got a World 4 airship here, so now I gotta wonder, Because I know I've seen MidiGuy do this. If he goes for the star and gets it, is he gonna go for upside down? Well, it's not one hitter, so that's in the wash.
Yeah, so a 4-11 for HighFlyer. So he'll have about a 40 to 45 second, maybe a little bit more, maybe about a minute on MidiGuy, who gambled on all of this and just didn't quite pay off in this case. So, but there is a hammer. So, and again, hammers are random as to whether they break locks or not.
In terms of gambles not paying off, it could have been a lot worse because honestly, he got the route right. May not have gotten the locks, but he got the route right. If you're gonna miss a gamble, at least get the route.
Yeah, and we have World 5, and 5-1 leads off. Midi trying to get a fire kill on Luddy and finally gets it. Alright, so we got a fort and then 3 pipes to play. And if it's Paradox Pipe shows up here, that's an easy call because we already know the answer. If not, we'll see what happens. And either way, it's pretty straightforward. HighFlyer, no trouble there in 3F1. Alright, here we go. Alright, so again, pretty linear draw here. He's gonna just play this out. See if they...
I thought HighFlyer got Wrangless there, but he missed. I swear he missed that by a frame.
Yeah, and HighFlyer does not get the second hammer, bro, so he'll take Paradox Pipe and a straight shot to the finish.
Not a bad World 5, all things considered.
No, that was pretty smooth. It was pretty smooth.
Oh, speaking of smooth, how about that fire kill on Roy by HighFlyer?
That's very good. That's very sharp. Played it exactly the way it should be. And alright, so Midi done with 3F1. Ooh, gets clipped there.
So 7, 5, 6 are opening 3 worlds, and we got a fort early. It is 3F2. Surprised this fort doesn't have a more frozen decor in this world, but gaming logic. What do I know?
Well, video game logic, one of the great oxymorons of our times. So you take what you get. But that little caveat aside, this is a good chance for our hammer. We have a hammer, remember? So we'll see what this leads to. And 742 for Midi, so he's a minute and 10 back.
He didn't have fire heading into the Roy fight, and Roy was a 5-hitter.
Yeah. So our opening stage is 6-7. So they got a music box from the princess. See how they put that to good use here.
Appealing here, I don't think it's going to do much for the swimming sections.
Unfortunately, no. HighFlyer is trying to just get rid of some of these big sprites on screen. He's trying to maintain P-speed here at 6.8. Unfortunately, and that's why.
That white block just went 100% through the Koopa and didn't take it out. What in the world?
Funny how that works. Alright, so HighFlyer. Okay, yeah,
Oh, good save
HighFlyer,
by MidiGuy.
yeah, HighFlyer, a couple of nice moves with Raccoon Mario from HighFlyer and MidiGuy there to keep things going. And there's 2-5, so that's interesting. Some desert in our Iceland.
Means we got an extra fort in the desert when we come up to it.
And okay, so hammer not really required or needed here. It only saved a stage, so not, I guess, worth the time or trouble. We still have 2, 3, and 4 to play, so you know hammer, and we still don't know if hammers break locks either. So a little premature, perhaps, to be pulling the trigger this early. And okay, so was that a 1? Oh boy.
Oh no! A level
that-
I started my second race with in 6-6 and HighFlyer is like, get me out of here. Actually, that hammer play worked out nice. MidiGuy made up some time.
For now he did, but he's gonna have to. Ooh, does not get. He's gonna go again for the clip, and again. Fourth try the try. Oh, that was it.
Try. He's gotten it twice and he's missed the jump both times. This has to be tilt.
And there it is, but look who's right back in there with them. Midi is going to opt to play a 6-9 the normal way, if you will. It's a pretty short stage. But Midi, with his hammer and HighFlyer having to go, trying to gamble his way out of 6-9, has lost some time here.
HighFlyer, I believe, still has his hammer, though, so he may get an opportunity later that MidiGuy cashed in on World 6.
There is that possibility, but we shall see. I mean, he did skip, what, 2-5, so nothing, no great shakes there. A one-hit Lemmy.
And an off-screen wand grab to boot.
So 11:52 for HighFlyer. So we have 1, 2, 3, and 4 still to play.
You know what, I'm going to call it right now. Watch it be 4, 3, 2, 1, which means it would have been reverse world order, but 5 and 6 switch spots.
Well,
Nope, world 3, so flush that out.
Okay, so no double hammer here, looks like. I don't think, unless I missed something.
No. 3 stages, 2, and lead to 2 forts and 2 pipes.
Yeah. So we lead off with 3-8. So just a stage difference now between our runners. There's a 28-second difference through the wand grabs, and Midi in a little bit of trouble there. Cheap looking for his mini meal, but does not quite get it.
I mean, mini meal would be fitting because the Cheap is Boss Bass's mini me.
Yes, indeed. Alright, so on to 3-9. HighFlyer with a Tanuki suit, which he quickly loses. Nice improv there on the H jump.
That's one of the cool things about randomizers, that you get to improvise all sorts of strats in some places that you wouldn't be able to elsewhere. That right there is a great example of improvising an H jump.
Agreed. Yeah, that's definitely a very sharp play by a HighFlyer. That's one of my favorite improv moves as well. 2-2 has another one I like to do when the opportunity arises.
MidiGuy with a faster, much more direct version of the H jump, making up even more time, and I think HighFlyer just got the bad news about hammers not breaking locks for the second seed in a row.
And there's the second hammer, so, you know, if only that were a few seconds shorter, sooner, that would have been a nice double hammer, would have skipped 3 stages.
2 stages, but who's counting?
Well, that's true, unless you had a hammer. Or unless you had a cloud, excuse me. So MidiGuy gets his hammer. HighFlyer's not going to get the 1 cycle here, but it is frog friendly, so it's a much quicker stage. There goes the lock, but you play both. Ooh, Midi's not going to get it either. Midi stopping for a fire flower and gets an easy fire kill on Boom Boom. Okay, so Midi is going for it.
Oh, and he went for it all right. Right in the boss bass's mouth.
Ouch. He's gonna try it again, and this time with feeling. Yeah, get out of there. That might
boss
be.
bass a slap right in the face. He just clipped through the block and went in the pit.
Yeah, so all that swag, unfortunately, and take 3 this time. Midi here. Well, actually, and HighFlyer's actually going for the item. That's an interesting call there.
MidiGuy's saying no.
And it's just a mushroom. We shall see if 5F2 is indeed required now. TBD. But almost certainly yes.
Yeah, and in terms of that item, all I'm gonna say is, and nothing of value was lost.
Right. Alright, so another stage, just 3-1 this time, so Midi is gonna go straight and gets 3-2. We've seen everything except 3, 4, and 5 in terms of normal stages.
There's a reason MidiGuy went to the right. Runaway hammer, bro.
Which makes sense. But now again, we'll see for sure in a minute if this is almost certainly going to be a retreat back for MidiGuy. Oh no! No!
Wow! That is a call I wouldn't have made, because it would not have paid off, but MidiGuy made it, and this time it did pay off. Oh, HighFlyer going for first class too quickly, got burned.
Yeah, the only other place it could have been was that. Oh no!
Yummy inputs!
Yeah, really. Good God. Well, he's got the Tanuki suit this time, and he will be able to fly over. Inputs are not MidiGuy's friend right now, as a one-hit Wendy makes pretty quick work. Is made pretty quick work of, as now we head to the next world. But Midi's correct call makes it a 20-second race. But quite a gamble there, because, yeah, there were only two places it could have been. It could have been on Prize Island, which it was, or it could have been the top left corner on that final screen by the Mushroom House.
Got a very interesting World 1 setup with two forts and one of them tucked far away in the corner. A red fort, which shows what we already know about World 5 being a one-fort world.
Right. So Navy, pretty straightforward. Does it build the bridge, though? It does.
Yes.
Midi is going through these stages much faster than HighFlyer. He's not stopping for anything. It's like, you know, items are a suggestion. He's comfortable with, he's happy with Fire Mario, and he's just gonna keep pushing the attack here. And we got a music box here.
Not gonna use it here.
And to answer chat's question, yes, 2 and 4 are the only worlds remaining. Got a thick
Heavy
Larry. But he's only a 2-hitter, and it's a 2101 for HighFlyer.
MidiGuy gonna gain a bit more time with that fire kill.
He's cut the lead to 15 seconds. So yeah, so Fire Mario giving him a slight edge here, but still a ways to go. I mean, we'll see what happens here in 2 and 4. Hammer's still a thing. So it looks like we got one pipe. Okay.
That hammer's not going to be a thing this time around. This is what we usually see in World 4. Oh, HighFlyer missed the jump. Or I don't know.
Alright, so yeah, we got 2 forts for sure, and 4F2, what a shock in Giant Land. Okay, there's the bridge now. Yeah, I'd play that, yeah.
Yeah, sure, why not? It's 4-6. Giant. Oh! Personally, I think HighFlyer got hosed on that hitbox, because that's going to give MidiGuy the lead.
For now, yes, it's a temporary lead. HighFlyer actually also used his music box. Oh, MidiGuy.
MidiGuy danced with death on that one.
Yeah, nice little toe tap there.
No music box from MidiGuy, gonna play the bro, so that gives the lead right back to HighFlyer. Gets a P-Wing for it. Look at this, MidiGuy doesn't even need to use the music box.
So, levels that much out, but HighFlyer now with the Fire Mario after being kind of depowered the last, like, world and a half. 23-46 for HighFlyer. Midi is going to get it at 23-55, so 9 seconds. In spite of all of that, between our runners, with just desert remaining. And both have hammers, so that will not be a factor, but we'll see what happens. And the World 2 stages usually aren't too bad, but some of them can be nasty. 2-3 in particular has its moments. Let's see what the draw is.
2 forwards, HighFlyer thought about going for one, swerves back, and gets quicksand.
I think I agree with this. You know, oh, yeah, Midi kind of doing the same thing, and okay, it looks like the anchor is just a mushroom this time, but in this case, yeah, I mean, it's a bit of a backtrack if you're wrong, but it's good, I think, just to kind of see what you got. Okay, so yeah, he's got.
Ooh, that's gross. 3 lives.
That is. I mean, using the hammer is correct, but now it's a question: which fort is it? If this gets you the bottom route, you're set. If it doesn't, well, and you go back and play fort number 2. I think you would. Honestly, I think you would. Yeah. Yeah, 3 stages or a hand. But, yeah, so... Oh, Midi guy almost, lost his footing there.
Good call to step back for a bit, because if he had tried to keep his momentum going, he would have gone down the hole for sure.
Alright, so...
6F2. Midi guy has the hammer bros asleep. Oh, looks like we're getting 6F2 fly.
Yep. And DLP is correct, that forward up front could still be required, but, you know, given the way the routing is, you save that for last in this case. Okay. Jeez, can we get any more linear game? My God. We're just getting... This is all being, of course, reserved for the true nastiness that Leslie has devised for World 8. So, don't you fret, chat.
Yeah. World 2 looked interesting, but now it gets real interesting, because in World 8, you have all the usual levels. The army stage, which gives an item. The 3 hand levels, 8-1 and 8-2.
Yeah, so we have 8 seconds difference between our runners going into World 8. Midi was down almost a minute after World 1 due to some unfortunate routing choices that didn't pay off. But he has closed the distance, but HighFlyer has pretty much led almost wire to wire the whole way through. And ooh, this is delightful.
Let's see what item gets given out in the hand stages, because the last Princess Letter had a hammer, which does us nothing. That's an empty draw.
Well,
Tanuki suit, so upgraded from the vanilla game.
So a pair of Tanuki suits right off the bat, and 2 pretty easy stages to lead us off here. And
Ooh, that Cheep almost bounced HighFlyer off its head into the pit.
So we got 2 forts behind the lock, it looks like. He's not checking. Does he? And it is a 6F3.
Yep,
so...
carpet fort.
So, okay, so there's a lock right by where 8 fort would have been on the map. So this, if that lock doesn't break, it's going to break that one, I think.
Midi guy going to play 8-1.
Okay, that's interesting. He's gambling for 0 locks here, and we've seen 2 so far.
Interesting fire snake there, video game. Okay, so that
Okay.
lock was on the dark maze, I want to say.
Yeah, it was in next to 8 Fort. Alright, so moment of truth. Okay, that takes him in the back slot. Okay, so it
This
broke.
just got interesting.
I think it broke. I think it created I think it created a bridge.
Oh, maybe
I
guys, there is it.
I I think
5F1.
if it isn't it, if this isn't it, then that lock is in the corner. If this is the bridge, then that final lock was in the far right bottom right corner. Unless I'm missing something, because I don't think I saw everything from the dark map. It's the only other possibility.
Meanwhile, moment of truth for this race. Did MidiGuy get the correct fort? Survey said
No,
no.
it's 6F3 is the gatekeeper. So unfortunately, yep. Oh no. Oh. Oh, this got interesting.
Oh my.
No, we're both wrong. The lock in the corner got broken. Midi's got a chance here still.
Yeah, because clearing out Air Force cleared out a lock.
So we have now seen
who comes out on top here.
So we've seen 3 of the 4 forts. We've seen 6F3, Super Tanks, and 5F1 so far. We have not seen what's 8. He's got a pretty good chance. Let's see what happens. Alright. Super Tanks is the answer. Midi wins. That is correct. He's got it. Midi guy's got it.
Yep, Equalizer claims another one as MidiGuy is on his way.
Man. That, yeah. I was kind of semi-kidding with that Diabolical World 8, but man, that's a good one.
Yeah, this World 8 is like, for those who are familiar with Link to the Past Randomizer, this was basically a Ganon's Tower left-right play. One runner went left, the other went right, and that's all she wrote.
Pretty much. I mean, Midi's been making a lot of these kind of calculated moves all game. It didn't work out in World 7, but otherwise it has. And look at him now. He's just 5 Bowser jumps away from finishing this off and sweeping this Swiss match against HighFlyer 28.
I think playing True Tank wasn't a bad play, though, because you want to get rid of all your forts up front. It's just, in this instance, it was not the play.
Right, and Midi, okay, so one more jump will do it. Alright, so get out the GGs in chat for MidiGuy, who will complete the sweep here. Finishing race number 2 with an official race time of 32:55. Very nicely played.
HighFlyer not going to be too far behind here, as he's going into Bowser's Castle.
Looking about a low 34, maybe a hot low to mid 34, depending.
I am not sure why HighFlyer went in the door to Bowser's basement.
I don't know. Whatever the reason, Midi on his way, HighFlyer on his way, goes for the clip, doesn't get it, and we'll just play this out normally. Oh. Alright, so so 5 jumps for HighFlyer. Alrighty, and we are joined by the winner of today's match, getting a 2-game sweep, MidiGuyDP into the chat. GG's.
GG. Those were pretty tame overall. Both seeds.
We'll try harder next. We'll try harder next time.
Nah, I think honestly, I think Sahasrabot wanted to prove to me that it can actually still roll good seeds. Well, how come I don't get any good ones? Just saying. Anyway, get your GGs in chat for HighFlyer.
Finishing race time of 34:47. So, HighFlyer led most of game 2, not by a lot, but he was managing to keep you at bay. But your correct guesses in World 8 swung the race.
Gotcha. Yeah, World 8 was rather interesting. Like, my thinking was to get an edge. I feel like playing that first tank at the beginning, if that was the correct fort in the end, I was thinking, man, that could have I could have been in trouble if that was the correct one. And then once I played that, I can't remember where it was, the Air Force tile, and I saw both locks in the dark screen. I was like, oh, okay, this looks like it's flowing in my favor here.
Yeah, and that ultimately did swing it. Yeah, you skipped carpet for HighFlyer played it, and that coupled with the routing in the dark world and the level selections you did, yeah, that you played what was it, 5F1 pretty early too, and you were able to discount that right away, and that actually opened the door for you and got you to was it 5F1 or was it super? I think it was super tanks and then 5F1. 5F1 was the gatekeeper. So.
Yeah, that's the one that built the way. You literally had to find Bowser's screen before you can actually get to your gatekeeper.
That's correct. Yeah, so you had to kind of reverse engineer, and we are joined by HighFlyer 28 in the chat. GG's.
Thank you. GG's, MidiGuy.
GG's. I'm looking forward to seeing the restreams.
Yeah, we were just saying, HighFlyer, like you led pretty much wire to wire in game 2, right up until the end, and that was just you went one way and Midi went another. But I mean, overall, you were able to hold the line, and you had a good start with a good World 7. You stuck it out with 7-9, and that ultimately saved you quite a bit of time compared to MidiGuy, who tried the other route and unfortunately didn't work out.
Yeah, I was hoping for another way, but that was literally the only way to do that world at the time.
Yeah.
Yeah, it just sounds like I just the normal try to hope to see a fort and play a fort and ended up just not being the right one. So oh well, kind of that's just the way rando goes.
Yeah, and that was the case here, and
at least for World 8 anyway.
Yeah, I mean,
don't even get me started with game 1.
Well, Midi, you also in World 6 burned that early hammer, and that got you from about a minute back to closer to about 30 seconds, about a cutscene difference at that point.
Yeah, that I knew I was taking a bit of a gamble there. I was either gonna skip 1, 2, or 3 stages. Who knows? Maybe a fort tile could have been on the 6-7 panel position. Luckily, it wasn't, and I was able to skip 3 stages with that hammer use.
Right.
And World 2 was interesting as well. I saw 3 forts. At first, I thought, okay, these 2 forts before those 2 other locks had to break one or the other, but I told myself, actually, no, it's possible that I could still break the one in front of the castle. As long as one of the locks got broken, you could still make it over there.
Right,
Turned out.
right.
turned out the fourth that I wanted that bottom lock to be broken so I could actually use the hammer, and lucked out with
Right.
that as well.
Exactly. And, we were kind of speculating on that as well. I mean, there was really, in our opinion, only one way to play this. I mean, you kind of had to basically leave that fort in the corner at the bottom there as, like, your last resort, because the way it was linearly set up with all the locks, and you really, going back was probably the least desirable choice in that case.
Yeah, I could see it. It could have happened, that's for sure. Definitely could have happened, but I was weighing the odds, and it looked like the way to go. And then
Yeah.
in game one, I was like, wait, the hammers don't break locks. We've already I have 2 hammers, and we've already done the 2 worlds that have 2 rocks on them. So I was like, okay, yeah, I'll just break that rock in World 4 for the first race. I was like, yeah, might as well.
Yeah.
There's no other place to really use this.
Right, and and ultimately it was just 1.5 beta, so not a huge deal. But from there, the match was pretty much even at that point. But then you basically took control, and it was pretty much smooth sailing for you the rest of the way. And I know HighFlyer, I know you had some minor hiccups in game 1, but game 2, it seemed like you'd found your footing for sure as far as your gameplay was concerned.
Yeah, I felt like for the most part it was a lot better. I mean, everything's a blur right now. I know game 1, I wanted to put it past me because, death 1, death 2, death 3, death 4, it just kept going, and it just...
For sure.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Had a slight rusty start for me, too.
Yeah, you definitely had, I know, some unforced error. MIDI, you had a couple as well, and, some weirdness with some of the sprites not working right, or you clipping through them like you did in 3.7.
Yeah, that was like, wait, what? All right. Well, now that was an event.
All those giant enemies, I think, screwed things up for you, or whatever it was. But it's like, ugh.
Yeah, and of course, and I saw Boss Bass right there at the beginning. I was like, okay, I got fire. Surely, no, it literally jumps right. He goes right under his hitbox just barely, and I get gulped. I'm like, well, that was pixel perfect gulp, if you ask me.
Yeah, these things shall happen. But so you got, both of you have one final match in 2 weeks' time. For the Swiss, MIDI, you're 5-1 now. HighFlyer down to 500, but both of you, I'm sure, will have some most entertaining matches ahead of you. Anything you guys are going to work on for your final set of Swiss matches?
I'm not gonna write anything on paper and pen no more, because that was too distracting than just having the tracker by itself.
Yeah.
I feel like I fixed the errors I did last time, which last time I was second guessing myself too often. Sometimes it can be good a little bit, could help, but if you take too much time to do that, it's gonna cost you, and that's what cost me my second match against Dust. Is I was second guessing myself in World 8 a lot, so I made sure to not do that too much on this race, and more or less. Otherwise, I'd say routing went pretty well this time. I'm pretty dang happy with the routing overall, especially in, World 8 and stuff.
Right,
and,
yeah, for sure.
I guess maybe the only thing I can really think of now is, if I get 3-7, I might just jump. That way I know I'll jump over Boss Bass.
There you go.
Sometimes boss bats don't spawn right at the beginning of that level, as I personally have found out a few times.
Yeah, that's for sure. I was sort of expecting Boss Bass on I think it was the second race? No, the first, I think. But I think that was the giant enemy says, so I was like, oh wait, no, we're fine. He doesn't show up in this set, I don't think, so. Breathe easy.
Yep. definitely. And good luck to you guys in your final Swiss matches. We have some matches already on the books. This run of Swiss matches is 2 weeks because of the 4th of July holiday smack in the middle of it. So giving our runners a little bit of breathing room. But we've got some good ones coming up. Tomorrow we have the two undefeateds, Human Mustard and Stewie Cartman, going head to head at 7 p.m. Eastern. So that's going to be a big one. We'll find out if one of our runners will stay undefeated or if neither of them will stay undefeated. This has definitely been a very balanced tournament overall in terms of win-losses, comparatively speaking, given the last few years.
Yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to the match tomorrow.
Yeah.
I feel like it's gonna split. That's my prediction. I feel like we're just
Yeah.
gonna get a 1-1 split, but Rando
All
be
right.
Rando, and our days will be our days. Who knows how it's going to go?
Right. Rando be Rando indeed. And Tuesday, my co-com Leslie Pro 04 will take on True Hyper Mario at 2:30 p.m. Eastern. Some thoughts, Leslie?
For one, hopefully I get a seed where I can play like I did earlier in practice and have it turn out relatively okay compared to the last two seeds I played last week.
Mm-hmm.
Let's just hope it all goes according to plan, but we shall see. I can see that being a split.
I think that's a reasonable bet. Both of you, you've been around a long time. THM's a good player, so I'm looking forward to that. Well, actually, I'll be at work, but I won't be able to see it. But nevertheless,
Been there. I know that
yeah.
feeling.
And then Saturday at 1 p.m. Eastern, we have Paradox versus Japezu. And that'll be a good one. Paradox has been in this tournament forever. And Japezu is a relative newcomer to the Rando community, but a very good player indeed. So there should be a couple of good matches coming up.
For sure.
Oh, for sure. And there's more to be scheduled. So on that front, stay tuned.
Absolutely. So, and again, give our runners a follow if you haven't already. There's some fine play here today in the tournament. And yeah, we'll see you all tomorrow night for the battle of the undefeateds in the Swiss tournament between Human Mustard and Stewie Cartman. Until then, may Boss Bass continue to go hungry.
Absolutely. Till next time, stay kind, stay safe, stay awesome, and we'll see you on the other side of the next pipe check for the next matchup. So long, everybody.
Thanks for putting this on,
Yeah.
everybody. Take care.